Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Radio Free Wall Street. Today is a very important broadcast, and I'll tell you why. You know, it gets to be money talks and bullshit walks, right? Well, we have a president who's a bullshit artist. Well, we all know that. Now, the big debate is who cares? I don't care. I don't care who he pimps. I don't care who he lies about. The biggest election landslide ever and all that. I care. I care because when you got a bullshitter in chief and he lies, he takes positions, he attacks, it has market implications. Today is a great example of that. Now, Donald Trump has got these trade wars. I think they're asinine as hell, and we've done a lot of stories for you on how they're affecting American people, U.S. companies, and they're not affecting our enemies because all they do is devalue the currency, and there's not shit Trump can do about it. Especially since the U.S. Government is going to be borrowing a record amount of money. And that's because of the Donald Trump boondoggle. That's where he gave a huge tax break bonanza for billionaires, biggest corporations in America, while slightly raising taxes for the average American under the guise that he was lowering taxes. The result of that is the next very, very simple. Not spending more and all that shit, although that is part of the component. The real problem is the tax break bonanza for billionaires slashed federal government revenues to the point where the Treasury needs to finance $1.33 trillion for this fiscal year. A disaster. But that's not the story. I mean, that's just another Trump bullshit story on the great boost in the economy he's going to get for the tax break bonanza for billionaires, how companies are going to bring factories back to America, how bonuses will be paid, higher wages. What's happening? Well, wages and rates are going down. We got a report on today to prove that. The GDP report that told us how Americans have doubled their savings rate in a quarter has proven to be more Trump bullshit. Fact of the matter is that U.S. savings rate is down, U.S. personal income is down, personal spending is up. And how they do it? Crossed $1 trillion in credit card debt. So, like I said, money talks and bullshit walks, and just let this guy bullshit the population because we're going to make a fortune. A great example is trade wars. Donald Trump started these trade wars, as you know. His advisors told him that we would win the trade wars, that they would quickly cave in, and that they would not even retaliate. And no, they didn't get a cookie. As a matter of fact, the retaliation has been complete, severe, and devastating. Ask any pork producer or a soybean farmer in the United States. Now, there's more and more and more and more. What gets uglier here is that Donald Trump in these trade wars targeted our biggest allies, okay, besides the Chinese. And he realized he was in trouble. Let me tell you how he realized he was in trouble. What happened was, holy shit, Batman, more and more corporations are reporting how they cannot make money. They cannot continue to produce in the United States. And more companies are saying, yeah, we're moving production over there. That was exactly the opposite of what Trump said was going to happen. Now, it gets even uglier than that. The reality is that Donald Trump had to take back order, okay? Let's full ahead, reverse, slam in reverse, slam on the gas pedal, and hope when driving backwards you don't hit anything. And what happened was Juncker came, the President of the European Union, a ceremonial job than anything else. Donald Trump did his kiss his ass, and voila, he announced that that they were going to renegotiate the trade war with Europe, and oh yeah, Europe was going to take a bunch of soybeans. And Juncker said, yeah, I'm going to fill my suitcase with 2 bushel baskets of soybeans. What's the real story? European imports of soybeans from America is minuscule. But that was just to jerk off the farmers who are not in a mood to have their zipper pulled down and have their dick yanked by Mr. Bullshit Artist because they voted for him and now they feel terribly betrayed. Donald Trump got the message and said, holy shit, we've got to do something. So what do you do now? Well, Donald Trump said the United States and China hope to resume talks to define a budding trade war. Diffuse a budding trade war. Holy shit. What? What I hear? Yeah, you got it. The trade war is over. Donald Trump is going to go ahead and try to patch it up. Now, why am I ragging on Donald Trump all the time? Well, that's because the stock market saw that and rebounded. Now, remember, we were in the start of a market meltdown, which is coming. And as you know, I do want to short the shit out of this using our enhanced tools, the S&P 500s, and I think there's a whole lot of money to be made there. But we held off. And the reason why is all the pieces have got to fall in place, and they did not. This pause, halt, or possibly reversal in the trade war is a market positive thing temporarily. So as you can see, Donald Trump is very much part of the equation, and you have to be very, very careful. Dollar jumped, which gives us a nice trade going short the euro and pound once again. And we are being driven by Trump insanity. Now, why did Trump do this? Well, because the polling showed that the farmers in Iowa and in Minnesota and Illinois are going, bullshit, Mr. President. He's not doing us any good. These trade sanctions are not working. He said, well, listen, I need you farmers to be good little warriors and fight the trade war with me in a couple, 3 years to get it right out. You don't understand. We're American farmers. We don't have 2 or 3 years, okay? We can't survive. Donald Trump's going, uh-oh. What should he do now? I don't want to go to jail. Remember, Donald Trump's been driven by one thing and one thing only, collusion, which he now declared is not a crime. Rudy Giuliani convinced him of that. And do you want a president who now says the collusion is not a crime and may have colluded with the Russians to rig the U.S. elections to get him in power? Can you imagine the power that they will have over a president? Can you imagine? The videotapes was enough. I mean, like you said and I said, I don't care about his golden showers and all that shit. But he cares. And that means that, oh my God, they have a power. They have a power of influencing the President of the United States. They can blackmail him. Oh my God. And that's truly what I believe is going on, by the way. And I believe Donald Trump's days are numbered. And I believe you're going to wake up one day and some bad things will be happening there. Now, I hope not. The turmoil of the United States, having to deal with a president impeachment, the FBI, CIA rising up against our leader is, to me, a very dangerous proposition, but one that I could see being in the cards. Today's backing away from the trade war, which he started last week with Europe, and now spilling over into China, shows the vulnerability of this president and shows the grave mistakes he makes in his thinking. To say Donald Trump is flawed in his thinking is one of the greatest understatements ever. This is a very dangerous man. He's a nuisance to mankind. He's not qualified to be president. He was elected by collusion with our greatest enemy, with a crime where he encouraged them to steal the emails, which is a conspiracy. Hacking into servers is a felony. Encouraging someone to hack into a server is a part of a conspiracy. And who knows where that might go. And I'm sure it's a deep state conspiracy. But let me ask you a question. Do you want to get rich, or do you want to jerk off with Hannity on Fox News? Really, where is your heart lying? Do you want to go through this bullshit, or do you want to wake up and say, I don't need this crap. I don't need this discussion. I don't want to hear about the debate. I just don't want to lose everything I've worked for. If that's you, then come with me and let me show you what to do, because let me tell you, there is a fortune to be made in cashing in as Donald Trump is cashed out. I mean, the guy is a liar, he's a thief, he's a criminal, which is okay. I have no problem with that. I don't know why people here, what do you call the president a thief? Like, oh, hell yeah. I'm calling Donald Trump a freaking liar, a whoremonger, a low-life dog. I'm calling a man morally unfit to be president of the United States, ethically unfit, sexually, in every way possible, intellectually. And I think he is a master manipulator and little else. And that's the last thing America needs right now. Now, you go, well, that's unpatriotic. Well, bullshit. I never had anything patriotic put any food on my plate. Now, maybe you've had a miracle of the bells or some shit, but everything I've had to do is work for in my life. So if you're with me, and, it's like communism. Communism distributes all the wealth it can until it runs out of wealth to distribute very quickly. And Donald Trump, he distributes all the bullshit he can until he runs out of people to bullshit. And that's fastly approaching the mark. Okay? And it is incredible, the attack on the Democrats. And I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. If he wants to screw up the country, let him. In a lot of ways, I think America deserves the lesson of a Donald Trump after Muhammad Obama. All I want to do is do what I've done a lifetime, and that's trade in and cash in on the stupid shit things that the market does, the politicians does, the bubbles they create, and the wipeout. And we got one humdinger of a wipeout. Now, Donald Trump backing away from the trade war and the sanctions, he went ahead and he said that he would start dealing and meeting with the Iranians unconditionally, and I believe him, and that's all I need to get me back in an oil trade. And I think Trump is going to be the greatest president ever to make us a lot of money. As far as what he does to America, we are so screwed, there is no discussion. No discussion. The man is a menace to everything in the world you believe in. The man will end up destroying the country. And, no power can last forever, so all I can tell you is that, it's not like a new experience. You lived in the age of the maximum American prosperity, influence, and growth, and you've lived long enough to see that age pass. Boo-hoo, it's happened to everybody, so it's our turn. Now, you can let the passing of American greatness, if you talk to anybody that wants to do business, anyone that's dealing with these corporations, with these billion-dollar bogus fools, they'll tell you, shit's falling apart. We can't do a deal. We can't get things done. The bureaucracy, the meddling, the computer control with artificial intelligence is destroying our ability to do business. Duh. You got the hungry Chinese. They're there. They're the entrepreneurs. Chinese business people work under incredible adversary of their government, okay? But you know what? They are some very smart, hardworking, entrepreneurial people. To trash the Chinese economy is to deny the brilliance of the Chinese entrepreneur. Not, I mean, the Chinese government. Screw those state bureaucrats. The Chinese people have made money despite them. Do not ignore the Chinese miracle. Do not ignore the Chinese formula. Do not ignore the Chinese growth, and do not ignore. Look, whatever you can say about the Chinese government, it is pro-Chinese business. Whatever you want to say about the Chinese government, they let the bureaucracy fall apart. They're polluting the shit out of the country, but they're letting the businessman soar. America is just the opposite. America is the enemy of the entrepreneur. Donald Trump is the enemy of the entrepreneur. America is the enemy of the small business person where all the genius comes from. And it's basically who stays in the Trump Tower, who kisses Donald Trump's ass, who puts a lot of money into lobbyists and gets what they want. It's really true. You have the most sold-out oligarch-type president ever. This is going to end up in disaster. But guess what? We got a situation where his lunacy can make you a hell of a lot of money. So I am here to beg you to wake up. Stop getting into this patriotic bullshit. Donald Trump was a draft dodger 5 times, got out of the old bone spurs in his foot shit that was going around New York City in that era. And Donald Trump is a disaster. We made a mistake. Get over it. The guy is a loser-boozer. He is a screw-up. He is gone goo-goo gaga crazy. Look, the doctor who gave a clean bill of health and said that he was not insane and mentally unfit to be president, they were going to make him a head of the VA hospital because he had a little clinic at the White House. Talk about rewarding your friends. Donald Trump's got his mouthpiece that is playing tapes for the prosecutors, okay, and testifying against them. Manafort, the man who has spent a lifetime colluding with the Russians, got $60 million for the Russians to do the work in Ukraine, went back to those connections and arranged a deal to help Donald Trump get elected. Russia was colluded by the request of Donald Trump in the election. They swung the election his way. The rest is history, and Donald Trump screams, no collusion, no collusion. Today he steps on his big foot and goes, well, there's no collusion, but if there was collusion, and Rudy says there may have been, but I don't think so, but if there was collusion, it's not illegal. Well, shit, okay. Where are you going there? You're done. Game, set, match. So you need to understand that you got a president who's a disaster. This trade war is a disaster. This economy is going into recession no matter how much fairy dust they want to blow up your ass. Okay? The debt of the U.S. government and the debt issuance institutions. Now, by the way, in the debt issuance that's coming in the future, that's where I live, okay? They are issuing paper in the 1, 2, and 5 year. They're not messing with the 10 or the 20 or the 30. So what does that mean? Well, that's going to drive the shorter paper higher and the longer paper lower, further inverting the yield curve. Did I get through to you? Yield curve inverting. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a recession. Sometimes the yield curve can invert because our algorithm says that the inversion of the yield curve is a complicated factor based on supply and based on the demand of the individuals and the foreigners coming in here. And in this situation, we are not going to have a recession. Don't use those words. There is no recession. And even if there was a recession, it wouldn't be illegal. Okay, you want that blue sky blowing up your ass? Why is Treasury doing that? Well, Munchin doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Mommy, he speaks mean about me all the time, Mommy. So Munchin the asshole, completely unqualified Treasury Secretary, is going into a shorter duration in the $1.33 trillion in debt that has to be financed, up from $300 billion, because Donald Trump gave away the store, the tax break bonanza for billionaires. The corporations still hate him. They didn't create any jobs, didn't create any factories, and he's got to finance that loss of revenue. Okay, pretty simple equation. Now Munchin knows that if he goes further out the yield curve, the rates go higher. Okay, and the debt amortization is longer. So he has decided to go short and try and hope the yield curve doesn't flatten and invert. Okay, in other words, it's the wrong decision by a man that does not know what the hell he's doing at the wrong time, and it's more money for us. The yield curve will be inverted. The 10-year, 20-year, and 30-year paper has probably hit a peak, and the 2 5s and the 2s and 5s, and the 3s and the 1s and all that shit, well, blast off, baby. Sorry, I said 3s, meant 2s. Blast off, baby. Those rates are going higher, driven by the Fed Reserve. Oh, by the way, did I mention that the Fed Reserve is also lightening up on its balance sheet? That's the holding of assets it did in its quantum easing to the tune of $50 billion a month. $50 billion here, $50 billion there. In a year, you got $500 billion. In 2 years, you got $1 trillion. That's a lot of money flowing to this economy as it enters into recession. What does it mean? It means the cash is getting sucked up. There's no money. Now, what does that mean about sucked up cash? Well, all that dog shit retirement savings account, well, we use enhanced yielding instruments to make sure you can reach your retirement goal. What translation? We buy dog shit, triple rated crap debt that on swaps that will never be paid back, and it makes the interest rate on our calculator look good, so we can sucker in the baby boomers with a high yield savings account, which is nothing but a high yield wipeout. Got it? So baby boomers wake up and go, oh, well, we have no money. We have no money. It's gone. The annuity wiped out. It was supposed to be safe and secure. Oh, you didn't go to Treasury Direct? No, we had the annuity. It was paying us 1%. Treasury Direct's paying you 3%. Risk-free. Treasury Direct is paying you more a return than the entire profits of the S&P 500. Well, I don't understand that. My slammer jammer broker didn't tell me that. He said I go into income growth opportunity fund and I make my calculation. Yeah, you know why? Well, yeah, because he loves me. Oh, really? That prick loves nobody. He's relishing in wiping you out, and he puts you in the fund that pays him the highest commission because under the stupid-ass laws, the broker does not have a fiduciary responsibility to protect your interests, and that is a freaking outrage. May he burn in hell forever. And will. Meanwhile, I'll help you. Go to Treasury Direct. Buy that 10, 20, and 30-year paper. Buy the 2s and 5s only if that's the date you need your money. Go into the 1 year because the numbers work better. Fed will be increasing rate the third quarter. Now, they got a meeting coming up, I think it's next week. An August meeting or next 2 weeks? In August. I'm not sure they'll go then, but they got a September meeting for sure they're going to go. And we're going to have an interest raise by the Fed of a quarter point for the next 5 quarters. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. That's 1.25 on the Fed fund rates. On top of the 3, 4, 5. Fed's got a rocket ship going there, buddy. They're fueling it for blast off, and they're going to blast off in the twilight zone, throw the economy into recession or wipeout. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, well, he's got himself, he stepped on his great big foot on his trade thing. He's going to figure out how to back over. I can't stand the guy. My hatred of the President of the United States grows every day. I can't wait until they vote him out of office. I can't wait till they impeach him. Hang on, D-time. This green tea is so good it should be illegal. Anyway, so you've got a great opportunity here, guys. The stock market's going to crash. Now, they got a little ditty going because they're now going to celebrate Donald Trump going to negotiate with the Chinese. Donald Trump needs to get a little ditty going. This is August, guys, September, October. Well, it's going to be August in a few hours. September, October, election time. And the deal Donald Trump's making with the devil is just don't let the market collapse between now and then. That is why I'm not friendly on shorting the market in a big way. I like the FANGs. That's an accumulation. I love the FAS. That's a 2-3 year out trade. Remember, sell is daily, so you got to go ahead and kind of feed that monster. I'm sorry, I didn't make the rules. That's how it goes. But you know, when it goes, it'll go. It'll do a blast off for you. So we got the FAS. I love the VIX. At some point, Wall Street guys go, I think we got a problem here, boss. I don't know what to do. I've never seen more congenital idiots controlling $1 billion in my life. But they talk real good. They sound real good. And they are pretty boys. So if you're going to trade on the pretty boy Roy deal, well, pretty boy's got a plan for you. His plan is how to make your money, his money, and his firm's money and walk away to a great big commission laughing as we wipe you out. Really, really, really. Can you imagine wiping out some of all their life savings and thinking it's funny? Now, you talk about sick shit puppy dog. That's what you got there. And there are a lot of these sick shits. I think the boomers have a complete another hatred for older people. They blame their loser lifestyle on older people. And this is going to end up being very ugly shit. Got it? Good. I'm glad we had this moment of elucidation. I'm so glad we got Donald Trump, the bullshit artist-in-chief, who is going to be the worst president we've ever had. He is going to be more responsible for bringing down the empire than even Muhammad, Islamic Brotherhood, Muhammad, Obama. And that's saying something. Hillary's lost her cookies. She had a brain tumor, stroke, aneurysm, I don't know, something to do in the head. And she's out of it. Goodbye, Hillary. Bye, bye, bye. And Bill's just chasing tail. I mean, you take the blue pill, and you get the cheerleaders going, go, Bill, go. And he gets off once again. It gets harder and harder. And they call him Flash. Anyway, so understand the time you're living in. Okay? And please, what you can do is change your life. This is the greatest money-making opportunity we've ever seen. I know I say that, but I offer you enough proof. Treasury debt is going to go crazy. Why? Donald Trump should have never given the $1.5 trillion tax break bonanza for billions. By the way, it wasn't 1.5. I misspoke. It was $3 trillion. That increased the Treasury financing by 1.5 trillion. Oh, you didn't know about the 1.5? Now, I know Treasury today admitted it's 1.33 trillion. I published a story for you. But by the time they get done, it'll be $1.5 trillion in additional debt the United States government's got to finance an initial increase in the deficit because Donald asshole, stupid-ass Trump gave to the corporations the biggest tax break ever and got nothing in return. He didn't say, hey, okay, Mr. Corporate Guy, I know you lobbied me, appreciate the payoffs. I know you financed my golf courses and you stay at my hotels, you pay the lobbyists. We appreciate that. And my bagmen are collecting the money and sucking it up. We thank you. But you got to do something. So if we're going to give you this tax holiday, you can't use it for share buybacks. You can't use the money to pay yourselves and stock option and dividends. You've got to really hire more people, like I told the American public. You really got to train more people. You've got to increase pay, and you got to make a commitment to spend 25% of that money for new plants and equipment in the United States. The guy goes, bullshit, the lobbyists said you have to end on that shit. So they didn't do any of it. So what did they do? Biggest share buyback in history. The biggest selling of insider stock, that's called liquidating, cashing in, cashing out, get in, get on, get off, get out with the money and take the money and run. Well, that's exactly what they did. So what do you got? Well, you got a $1.5 trillion increase in the deficit. You got no jobs. You got no money, no wage gains. We see the numbers every month. And what do you got? Well, you got bullshit. This economy at 5% will be sustainable. Oh, bullshit. Kudlow, hang your head in shame, you sold-out prick, brown-nosed bastard, shit-sucking asshole. TV guy, go back on TV. I can't stand his TV presentators, you know. God, where do they find these assholes? It's like, hi, are you a washed-out fun guy like Kramer? Hi, are you a washed-out asshole that couldn't make it as a broker? Fine, we have a job for you. Are you sweet tits? Well, I know you went, yeah, I know, we know how you got through college, but just tell me you're an economist person. They won't look it up. You got to read the website. You go, oh, what bullshit. So to say, well, I got here because I'm really young, and I got a tight ass, and I got big tits, and I talk well on the camera, and I make love to it. And Louie, well, I have a six-pack of abs here. I'm a really good-looking dude, and I'm magnetic, and the girls really love me, so does the camera. That's how you're picking your people. Fine. How do you pick your broker? Well, I love you. Yeah, I don't know I don't really know what a swap is. I never really traded, but I know everything. And all I know is you got to buy Slam-a-Damma Dick Fund because that's where your retirement savings goes. Look at the calculator here. Plug in how much you need, your goal, And you can see here you need a 7% yield, and slam a jam a fund is 7.1. All you got to do is buy it. Really? Is that easy? Yes. I guarantee it. You have my word. Why is the asshole doing it? Because that gives him the biggest commission. That's it. Now, why does a fund pay a much bigger commission than anybody else? Well, I'll leave that mystery to you.